Hello everyone. I want to show you how to fashion a improvised splint out of your stir bags. All right. Yes, your dirty, nitty, gritty, probably moldy stir bags that you don't ever clean. All right. Now, if a person has injured their, distal extremities, so we're talking about something in their forearm or something in their lower leg, this is going to work great. If it's their femur, their upper leg, their humerus, this might not work so well, but it'll especially work for, distal extremity fractures, dislocations, so on and so forth. So the first thing you're going to want to do, if it's, on the foot, you want to remove the shoe, and I'm going to keep my sock on. Actually, I'll take it off, okay? Remove the shoe, remove the sock. You want to check for the pulse in the feet or the wrist. You want to make sure they have good perfusion to that extremity before you move it. So I can also check capillary refill. This means I just displace some of the blood in the finger or the toe, and then I release and I check to make sure that the color returns. Initially, when you push, it'll be white or pale, and then I'll release and make sure that it's the pink or red normal color, that it has good perfusion. If it doesn't have good perfusion, if you don't feel a pulse, or you don't have good capillary refill, you might want to consider gently adjusting that, and you can try to make the limb look like a normal limb. So if there is an obvious displacement, you can try gentle manipulation as long as it doesn't cause too much pain, especially if there's going to be a prolonged extrication or help is far away, because you don't want that limb to go without good perfusion for a long time. All right, now we need to stabilize this injury, especially if we're going to have to evacuate this victim. So how do we do this with a stir bag? Well, I'm going to demonstrate on my own leg. So you can see this is a pretty long, cheap stirred bag. It'll work extremely well. We're going to use this as an air splint, which is kind of the same thing that we use on an ambulance to help stabilize fractures, and it works extremely well. All right. So let's imagine that I had, either a distal tib-fib fracture or some kind of an ankle injury. And it's best to practice this on yourself or on the uninjured extremity before you actually do it on the injured extremity, because it is going to require some modification. This is improv. This isn't a device designed for this purpose. All right. So it might require some ingenuity on your part to make sure that it works and does actually stabilize that fracture or that dislocation. So of course we've checked our pulse. I have good perfusion. I can, even if I have something to mark it with, I can mark an X where I've found that pulse. I'm going to have whoever's with me, if somebody is with me, stabilize above and below that so that we can slide this improvised splint underneath. So I'm going to go wide end to short end down. I'm not going to knead the whole thing, but what I'm going to do, you'll see, is I'm going to blanket this around the extremity like so. And it's kind of hard to demonstrate because I'm doing this on myself, but I will do my best. I'm going to leave a portion visible, that way I can, I'm going to leave part of it available, the part that I need to check for a pulse and to check and make sure that there's no neurovascular compromise. All right, I have to be able to continuously reassess and reevaluate this injury. So I am using just some cheap pink paracord. You can use rope, you can use tape, you can use gauze, you can use whatever you have available. Right now I'm going to take advantage of these holes that are in my float bag. And I'm going to just go through them and go around. I want it snug, but not enough to cut off circulation. This is going to get tight when you put air into it. I'm just going to tie a simple knot. As I've said before, I'm not a knot aficionado. All right, I've got extra paracord laying around. And I don't want to put anything directly over the injury. All right, I want to go above and below. And I'm just tying simple knots here. Here. This will probably work. All right. Let's do one in here. So let's say I want to really encompass the foot and the whole lower extremity. I can do so just like this. Okay. Looks like I've even got some extra string laying around. Tape will work fine, even duct tape. All right, so this seems like I've got it wrapped up pretty well. And then all I do is I blow air in it. You can see that that got really snug, and that isn't going anywhere. So that is a good splint. And what I want to be careful for after this, I'm going to reevaluate the perfusion, check, make sure there's blanching, there's good capillary refill, that once I let go, it refills in a few seconds. I can reevaluate the pulse. But also, if we're going to be in the woods or by the river with this person for a while, carrying them out or waiting on help, I also want to be able to, stop frequently and evaluate and make sure that I'm not causing any skin breakdown. Like I can already tell the pressure from this knot right here on this small paracord is already digging into my foot pretty good. So if I could, I'm going to put, before I put this rope or this paracord on, I'm going to put some padding, whatever you have in between that. Just make sure everything's well padded so that you're not causing too much pressure on the skin. And this will also work for a forearm. It's going to work for a number of things. It's a very useful trick, and most of you should have float bags in your kayak already. All right. So I hope that you found this helpful. Let me know what you think and if you have any questions. Thanks.